I haven't had too many opportunities to publicly recognize our other awardee, but anytime I am asked to pay tribute, I keep thinking that the next time could well be her eulogy. So I guess I'm grateful we have at least one more chance to honor her while she still has a pulse. Sorry. There are a million things I could say about Jan Frayser and still not say enough. I could focus on what she has meant to me as a colleague and friend for almost 30 years. I could focus on the countless students, parents, and entire families that she has helped over the years. I could focus on her compassionate leadership within this school and how she has often and accurately been referred to as the heart of Pius X High School. I imagine everybody in this room has been touched in some way by Jan Frayser and her work. Tonight, however, I want to briefly reflect on what it means to be a steward and why Jan is indeed distinguished in her stewardship. Stewardship, real stewardship, begins first with the disposition of the heart. It is a right recognition of the truth that all we receive is from God and for God. And for convenience sake, we tend to lump stewardship into action words, reflecting on how we give of our time, how we share our talent, how we donate our treasure. But these actions are merely the fruits of and a reflection of the heart of a steward. You do not have to spend much time with Jan Frayser to learn just how much she has the heart of a steward. Jan lives with an abundance mentality that says she can always do more, give more, and be more to others. Countless times, she reached into her own pocket, or maybe sometimes into her husband's deeper pockets, to meet the material needs of a student or family. And I'm sure her two terrific sons, Greg and David, I'm so glad that you guys are here, could share many stories of coming home to find some stranger, or maybe even some friend, sitting at the Frayser kitchen table at any hour of the day or night seeking help from Jan. And even when she could have easily and understandably said that she didn't have time for someone, Jan always made time for the person in need. And then there was her talent. Jan had so many talents to offer the school and the diocese, whether serving on crisis response teams, advising the world of school plays and musicals, sewing dresses at dances, or capably serving as an administrator for the counseling center in the school. Jan, you know that I am grateful for you and that I love you very much. You have been a shining example of the Pius family, of what it means to have the heart of a steward. It is truly a privilege for me to be able to present to you, on behalf of a grateful school community, this year's Distinguished Steward Award. Please help me in honoring our Distinguished Steward, Jan Frayser.
Okay. Enough of that. Unlike Rihanna, I kind of like microphones, so I'm sorry. Oh, boy. I will just say to you that I am blessed beyond measure. I don't know how God had in his infinite wisdom to know that I belonged to Pius High School, but you know what? He did, and I have been blessed in that. Rihanna, congratulations. Rihanna, during her time as a student, as a counselor back at Pius, as a counselor across the city at Lincoln Southeast, I'm going to tell you that woman pours every bit of her heart into every endeavor. I admire you. And I will tell you that she always takes time to help others or to surprise others with a little bit of something like cookies to the guidance office at Pius. That's awesome. I'm very proud of you, Rihanna. Here's a cute little story. Back in the 1990s, I was seated by a Pius mom with her young son on her lap at a basketball game. The older son was playing. She was telling little Alex that I help his brother at school and that I would help him when he gets to Pius. He looked at me, he looked back at his mother, And he said to her, "I think she'll be dead." It's true. The mother was mortified. I thought it was hysterical. Well, I want you to know that Alex has graduated. He's a college graduate. He's married. He has children. And look, I'm standing here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm still here. It's been such a privilege for me to be a part of the Pius family. I need to add a shout out to Father Lyle Johnson, who, by the way, back in 1988 was the only person I knew in the diocese, except for my sister and her husband, who happened to be working with Father Johnson. And Father Barr, he was father then, not Monsignor, but he called Father Johnson, and Father Johnson gave me a recommendation. And that began my time. Well, that's one more time than he ever listened to me, Father. I will tell you that at Pius, Christ's love is shared openly. People support one another. They are Christ to each other during times of need, during times of fun, and we work alongside each other. You know, I think about Pius as kind of like an orchestra. So there are many parts, and every part needs the other part. So in an orchestra, we have the violins and the violas and the timpani and the percussion and the oboes, and they're all integral to the symphony for it to be beautiful. At Pius, there are many parts, and every part needs each other, but they're all different. Math needs social studies. Social studies needs the sports, the theater, the music, the dance. It doesn't matter. We all need each other. Do you notice how I keep saying we? I don't work at Pius anymore, but I can't get over it. I continue that. I'll try to get over that. Everyone gives and receives. Everyone does their part. And it's important that we work together, that we take a step forward to meet somebody else and their needs. And that's what we do. It reminds me of a great, just a Bible verse I love, Mark 2. When Jesus is in Capernaum preaching in the temple, and the paralytic is sitting on his mat, and his friends come, and they pick him up, and they bring him to the temple. And there at the temple, they want to present him to Jesus so that he will be healed. But the temple is full, and they can't. So let's talk about being stewards. So they go to the roof of the temple, they burrow through it, they lower him down to Jesus to be healed. I mean, I feel like that's what Pius is. I really do. And I love that. That's Pius. People doing whatever it takes to bring each other and our students to Christ. I will tell you that during my time at Pius, there have been times of unspeakable crisis and difficulty. There have been student deaths. There have been parent deaths. There was a frightening lockdown that followed a violent act. There were family members of those students. Julie is here tonight. Her daughter died as a senior. I bow to you, Julie, and to all of those families who continue to trust in God when life falls apart. How could we possibly manage these times without that, without our Lord? We just couldn't. It's only through trusting in His strength, grace, and love that we can manage those dark times. People reach out in inconceivable ways. I know Julie felt it. I felt it. Praying together, walking together through the challenges. I am so grateful for that. That's Pius. There were times of embarrassment for me. Well, many. Well, many. I mean, one time I farted so badly. And it was so embarrassing. I was in a room with 5 men, and it was small. Oh, I've never gotten over it, I'm just telling you. Once, during an all-school mass with many extra guests, so probably 1,500 people in that gym, my eyes were focused on this 6'3" tall student who was way across the gym from me, and I could see that he was swaying. And I thought, oh my goodness, I think he's going to topple. I think he's going to faint. He's going to fall down those bleachers. Oh my gosh. And then God spoke to me. God spoke to me and God said, go. And I ran across the gym. I ran across the gym, yeah. I don't run anywhere, but I ran across that gym at my best speed. By the time I arrived, fear not, there were many people attending to Jack, and including Katie, she was there helping. And later I contemplated that stupidity of mine. Here's the deal. I really thought that God said, be Usain Bolt. I did. I thought that's what he said. But I think I heard him wrong. I think he just said to me, pray, you Bolt. And I thought, okay, I should have prayed. There were times of great fun. How on earth I got entrenched in an online voting campaign that captured my every waking moment in the fall of 2010, I have no idea. But I did, and I loved it. Coles devised a contest where 20 schools in our nation with the most Facebook votes would receive $500,000. Yeah. Do you remember? I think you remember. Yeah, it was weird. It was unreal. Off we went. We went to colleges, events, bars, festivals, masses, meetings. I used to go to bed and get up and go to the bathroom, but in that time, I went to bed, I got up, I checked our standing, and then I went to the bathroom. I mean, I was entrenched. Then there we were on the eve of the first Husker football game of that year, sitting up in our little classroom in the back of Duffy's Bar. Yeah, that's where I was. In downtown Lincoln. I don't really do those things, but there I was. Yep, there we were, gathering those votes. Father Meisenberg was there. It's the last hours of the competition. It's midnight, and we won! We won $500,000. That's Pius. That's Pius. Looking back over my life, I realized that love has truly propelled me. It has defined my time at Pius and my entire life. I hail from a family of 10 children. They were screaming over here a few minutes ago. They're a family of faith and love. Well, not there. I mean, they still welcome me. We are a family of faith and love. I am number 4 of the 10. Numbers 2, 5, 6, 8, and 9 are here with me this evening. Thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for showing Christ to me so many times. In 1980, God brought me a man that I have never deserved. For 42 years, my husband Steve has shown me incredible love and support. I'll tell you, he's a humble, kind man. When I brought students home to live with us, I didn't even call him. He just came home and they were there. And he would say to me, you just ought to call me ahead of time so that I can at least welcome them by name. I thought, that's a good idea. I'll tell you, he's put up with me, and he has loved Pius with me every step of the way. Steve has been in Texas working for about the past 9 years, and honestly, I can't believe it, but he's coming home in 4 months. Thank God. Steve, you've been the wind beneath my wings. I love you and I thank you for all you have done for me. That holds true for our sons as well. Greg and Dave have welcomed brothers and sisters into our family, scooted over, and here we are. They've endured their mother being an administrator at their high school. Who wants that? Overall, I thought it went well. I mean, that's my perspective, and they're not going to come to the mic, so that's all of our perspective. I mean, there was the time that Greg and his friends opposed an administrative decision to expel a student that was their friend, and Greg led a campaign to reinstate. Now, Greg is currently a bona fide attorney, but I mean, he, since 2, was practicing, and so that was a time of great practice for him. One day, when I was in the bathroom stall in the faculty women's bathroom, I heard, "Jan, is that you?" Do you know what Dave brought to class this morning? Oh, I was relieving myself, but I didn't feel very relieved right then. I learned that Dave brought a gigantic box of Honey Nut Cheerios to Spanish class. Good job, Dave. Lo and behold, his teacher preferred that he would bring his book than the Cheerios. I'm very proud of both of you, and I love you so much, and I love your beautiful wives, Jacqueline and Stephanie, and I love my grandchildren, and there are only two people that are going to walk up here for just a second and let me give them a hug, and those are my granddaughters. Come right up here. They're just a beautiful couple little girls, and my grandson is being babysat at my house, at our house tonight. So it's wonderful. I'm grateful to my fellow administrators. Father Morin, where'd he go? I don't know. I guess he left. I told him I wouldn't rap tonight, so I thought I would keep him, you know? Father Meisenberg is here. Thank you. They sometimes wondered how to deal with this occasionally overly emotional female. So thank you for doing that for me. To my counseling office peeps, Shelley, you're here, Connie, who keenly understand about an overly emotional female. We had our cries together. To the awesome teachers and staff, thank you for being here. I do truly love all of you. To the advancement office, who does so much for our school and arranged this evening, thank you for your incredible faith, for loving each other, and for loving our students. Thank you for being Christ's hands, feet, and heart. You inspire me. Mark and Katie Elsner, for so many years we've walked our path together through the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs. We met back in the day at Pius. Your love and friendship has been unwavering and appreciated. Katie, thank you for nominating me too. To my card friends back there, to Pius parents throughout the room, former students, former parents, fellow St. Peter's parishioners, thank you, dear friends. I appreciate you, and you will never know how much you mean to me. In the end, I truly believe that sharing Christ's love will open hearts and fill us with a desire to care for and love others in our little world and throughout the entire world. You've shown me that. For you know, as John Paul II said, we are not the sum of our weaknesses and failures. Rather, we are the sum of the Father's love for us. I rest and revel in that love. Let's go forth to love one another as he has always loved us. I am grateful for each of you. God bless.